Mrs. Katie! Mrs. Katie, is that you?
Hello, Rhonda.
Hello. Are all those goodies for Sam?
I'm afraid not. She only hurt her back a little bit. These things are for the person who does all of the worrying.
So then Sam is okay?
Well, she has to rest, but Samantha will be just fine. Now, if you don't mind...
That's nice. I just got off work myself. Our Saturday morning was stretched out a little bit because we had to wait for Jonathan to get back to the office.
That's too bad, Rhonda.
Oh, I didn't mind that much. Of course, we were all terribly concerned about Sam's health.
I'm sure you were.
Mrs. Katie, stop me if I'm crying, but, well, I suppose you know Sam's planning to audition for Slapstick's Comedy House.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Well, I think that's such a good idea. What I mean to say is life is tough enough for a young comedian, but a person with Sam's, well, handicaps, well, isn't she getting in over her head?
In case you haven't as yet realized, my daughter Samantha is a very bright, capable girl with a great deal of talent. And I have confidence in her that she will be successful in anything that she attempts.
Oh, me too.
Goodbye, Rhonda.
Goodbye. Hey, Mrs. Katie, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend you. I didn't mean it.
Hello. Speaking. Oh, yes. How are you? I'd love to. Tomorrow? To audition? At what time? 1 o'clock would be just fine then. Yes, thank you very much. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. I don't believe it. Oh, my God. Tomorrow. Tomorrow. Well, I'm on my way. I'm on my way to the top. Well, I'm not on my way. I'm almost on my way. Tomorrow. I'm going to audition tomorrow. Tomorrow? What am I going to wear? I haven't even practiced my routine. I've got so many things to do. Oh, no. Get cracking. Good morning, Mom.
Oh, you're up bright and early. Dressed, too. Mm-hmm. I take it you're feeling better today.
Yeah, I am. Mom, Slapstick's called last night. I'm going for my audition later on this afternoon.
You're not going anywhere.
Yes, Mother, I am.
No, you're not.
Well, then I'm going to have to go without your permission.
You would do that.
Well, you're forcing me to. Mom, this is something I've always wanted to do for myself.
For yourself.
Well, for my sense of independence.
You are independent.
I am not. I'm only independent as long as you're independent, which therefore makes me dependent. Listen to me.
I would, but you aren't making any sense, and you aren't going. Samantha, I'm not through talking to you. Sit down.
Ma, I'm going to be late.
Sit down. You'll get up on that stage, and you will make a complete fool of yourself. Why, you could even have a seizure. You could hurt yourself. And you could disgrace the...
Goodbye, Ma. Ma? Ma, what's the matter? I can't... Here, sit down. Don't move. I'm going to call Uncle Jack. Don't move. Oh, look what you're doing to me. Oh.
Well, am I going to live?
Of course you're going to live.
What happened to me?
As you very well know, my dear sister, you are perfectly healthy, physically.
What do you mean by that?
Susan, remember when we were kids?
How could I forget?
I remember one small quirk of yours that was particularly interesting, from a medical point of view.
Where's Sam? Did she leave?
She's in a room. And I remember one small holiday that Mother and Dad had planned once just for the two of them. And Aunt Ruth was going to be looking after us.
Oh, please, I hated her.
I know, and you didn't want her to stay with us. You were 10 at the time. And I remember you used every bit of 10-year-old reason you could muster to try to persuade Mother that she and Dad should stay home. It didn't work, did it?
I don't remember.
That's all right. I do. And I remember it got to the point where you were begging Mother to stay home. But, you know, she needed that holiday, even though it was only for a few days. And Dad insisted they go.
So what? So he won?
Not quite. The morning they were supposed to leave, you suddenly developed severe stomach cramps. You wouldn't eat anything, And although you didn't have a temperature, you were howling like the devil with pain. And after a few hours of this with no change, both Mother and Dad decided that they couldn't go anywhere.
How about that?
Yes, how about that? Susan, not 5 minutes after Mother and Dad decided to stay home, your pains vanished, and you were fine. Well, Dad thought they ought to go then. But Mother said, well, no, your recovery might have been just temporary. And that you might have a relapse. So they stayed home, and you were fine.
That's a charming little story, Jack. Why don't you recount it at my 65th birthday?
Susan, you contrived the whole thing just to keep them home.
And what if I did? I didn't like Aunt Ruth. Jack, I didn't think that this troubled you so. But that was 38 years ago.
It wasn't 38 years ago. It's right now.
What are you saying?
I'm saying that, Susan, as long as I've known you, you've always contrived illnesses when there was no other route to having your own way. Now you've done it again. And I want to know why.
You're crazy.
Susan, tell me why. Tell me, what's troubling you?
Nothing. Nothing is troubling me. Where's Sam?
I already told you she's in her room. But maybe I ought to bring her in here and tell her the story I just told you.
No, don't you dare.
It's about Sam, isn't it?
I don't know.
It's about her auditioning, isn't it? She told me she's supposed to go today.
Jack, I don't approve of Sam's ambition. I'm afraid she's going to have a seizure. I'm afraid she'll hurt herself, and Jack, I couldn't bear to see that.
She won't have a seizure. She hasn't in over 2 years. As for the other thing, well, I can't assure you one way or the other. But don't you think Sam's strong enough to handle the hurt if it does come?
I don't know. I really don't know.
Well, I think she can.
She doesn't understand, and neither do you.
Susan, I understand that you're concerned about Sam. But is she the only person you're worried about? Could I come in?
Sure, come on in. How is she?
She's fine, Sam, physically. But emotionally, that's another question.
No, don't tell me she's worried about me again. I've heard that too many times.
Listen, Sam, your mother is worried about you. That's her right. But she's also worried about someone else, and that's who I'm worried about.
Who?
Herself. She's worried about herself. About your relationship. She's afraid of losing you.
She's not gonna lose me. Well, don't you remember what it was like when I was younger? I was always so worried about when the next seizure was coming. I never had any time to enjoy myself. I never did anything. All I want to do now is do something which will make me proud of me. What's so terrible about that?
Nothing. What you're doing is right. It's how you're doing it.
How's that?
You're telling her instead of discussing it with her. And I know from experience, Susan Katie isn't going to stand for that.
Well, she can sit down then.
You're not listening, Sam.
Sorry.
Your mother's getting older, and she's afraid. I guess she's simply afraid of your becoming successful and moving out. That would make her feel ancient. I know it sounds silly, but I think that's how she feels. It's reality for her, Sam. And it's scary. I just wish you'd try to explain yourself, to reassure her that you aren't suddenly going to run out on her and never come back. Can you try to do that?
Of course. I never even realized.
In the meantime, when do you have to be downtown?
Well, I'm supposed to meet somebody at 11:15.
That was 10 minutes ago.
Oh, no.
Hey, I'll drive you to the subway.
Okay. Is Mom gonna be all right?
She'll be fine, as long as you try to do as I ask.
Okay, I'll try.
Come on, let's go.
Hi, John.
Hi. Excuse me. Another coffee, please.
With milk.
Okay, with milk, please. Milk? What, you think you're too chubby to take cream in your coffee?
No. I just happen to prefer the taste of milk. Is that all right with you?
Fine, fine.
Would you like coffee, sir?
Why don't you take your coat off?
I can't. I'm behind schedule already.
Oh, look, Sam, if you think I'm angry because you're a little bit late, you're wrong. Hey, I was 10 minutes late getting here myself.
You were, eh? What's your excuse? I'm sorry. I'm projecting onto the wrong object. I shouldn't be taking everything out on you.
Thank you. Is that milk?
Straight from the Holstein.
Thanks. Sam, look, I don't mind you taking things out on me, but I would like to know what it is that's being taken out.
It's my mother. There's really some kind of problem. I mean, she got really sick this morning to stop me from going to my audition. And if you look at your watch, you can tell she was almost successful.
Is she okay now?
Well, I called my Uncle Jack, and he came over and examined her. She's okay, but I'm not. It's not only that. I'm really worried about this audition.
Good.
Good.
Yeah. A little fright's healthy now and then. Hey, you want more fright? You heard Rhonda's latest entry in the suggestion box? No, well, she wouldn't tell you. Rhonda seems to think that you're going to be too preoccupied with comedy to attend to your duties. In other words, she doesn't think you should be working for the agency.
And what do you think?
Oh, Sam, you've got to be kidding. No, huh? Oh, look, Sam, what Rhonda said was crazy. I told her, and I believe that comedy and advertising often walk hand in hand. Well, they have to. And that you'd be working for green advertising as long as you want to. That'll be for a long time.
Well, I better hit the proverbial yellow brick road. I don't want to be late twice in one day.
Oh, come on, sit down. You got lots of time.
No, I should go, really. I'm nervous enough as it is. Thanks for meeting me, John. I guess I'll speak to you later.
Sam, I'll be sitting here drinking coffee if you got nothing better to do when it's over.
Thanks, John.
Good luck, kid.
Will that be everything, sir?
No, I guess I'll have another cup of coffee, please.
With milk again?
Why not?
Good afternoon, ma'am.
You startled me.
Finger licking, eh?
I don't think that's so funny.
Neither does the chicken.
Do you scare people for a living?
Well, I'm a comedian, so I guess it boils down to the same thing. Are you Miss Samantha Cady?
Ah, so you're the butler.
Among other things.
Yes, I am Samantha Cady.
Well, don't get too excited about it. Humility is of the essence.
Listen, didn't you know that Hummel was my middle name? Samantha Hummel Cady?
Hey, don't worry about the audition, all right? You open your mouth, and you'll tear them to pieces.
Thanks.
That's right, it was a compliment. But enough idle chit-chat. My name is Bobby Bircher. I'm the resident comedian, butler, and I was supposed to have you up on stage by now. Oh. Hey, don't hyperventilate on me now, sweetie.
I'm fine.
Come on then, let's go.
Okay. The problem with being an epileptic, I mean, actually, there are about 78 problems with being an epileptic, but the main problem with being an epileptic is that everybody's always treating you with kid gloves. I mean, you wish they would just treat you the same way that they treat everybody else, like dirt. When I was in high school, we had segregated gym class, you know. The boys took circuit training with Mr. Barrow, and the girls took jazz dancing with Miss Steele. Well, we girls, I mean, we had it. We were tired of this segregation, and we rebelled. I mean, we burnt our sweat socks. Our demands were instantly met. The teachers agreed to trade for a week. The girls would take circuit training with Mr. Barrow, and the boys would take jazz dancing with Miss Steele. Now, Mr. Barrow was your typical phys ed teacher, you know the kind, the big lumbering jocks with the crew cut and every hair on his head defying gravity, you know. Anyway, Mr. Barrow would lumber up and talk to you, and he would breathe in your face, and you'd swear you were at a baked bean convention. Anyway, the first day he got all the girls together, and he lined them up against the wall, you know? And he says, name, interest. Well, when he got to me, he yelled, name. Same way he yelled at everybody else. But when I said my name was Samantha Katie, he stopped and said, and what are you interested in, dear? Well, I had to answer him and said, well, sir, since I am an epileptic, I've decided I'd like to learn how to lift weights with my tongue. After that, Barrow treated me just like one of the boys. Thank you for listening, and good night.
Samantha Katie?
Yes.
I'm Richard Winston. I'd like to thank you for auditioning at my club.
Oh, you're welcome.
Samantha, this is Rudy, my assistant.
How are you?
Normally, Rudy smiles about as often as a bulldog. I always have him with me when I screen new talent.
You do?
Yep.
Miss Katie, today I smiled.
Oh, today you smile.
Rudy, I think we've totally confused this young lady. Rudy and I both thought your act was very refreshing.
Refreshing?
Like a glass of cold lemonade. Come on, Rick. Did you think she was funny?
Not only did I think she was funny, but Rudy thought she was funny, and
Rudy normally smiles about as often as a bulldog.
I'm becoming predictable.
That's okay, boss.
I'm sorry, Samantha, but I really should be telling you that your act was very funny.
Well, that's okay. Thank you.
Listen, don't stop me when I'm on a roll. You may never hear it again. You seem to have the knack for changing the dirt needed for cheap laughs into gold for rich ones.
He's getting profound. He must really like you.
I mean it. It's the kind of humor I myself prefer. And if you're willing, you can go on tomorrow night to see if anyone else feels the same way.
Oh, yes, I'd like that very much.
If you're successful, then you could have a regular spot in our weekly show. If not, well, I'll have been wrong because, as you know, audiences never lie. Rudy, take care of business, please.
Miss Katie, we have to step into the office for a moment. I need some background information from you. Right this way, please.
Certainly. Jonathan?
So, did you get it?
I got it.
Great.
You're blocking the aisle.
Got any champagne?
You got any caviar?
Red or black? No champagne, eh? Okay, couple more coffees, please.
No problem.
So, you really got it. That's great. Oh, did you have me going for a second there?
Really?
Here she comes. Thank you. What's this?
Well, we didn't have any champagne, so I brought you this instead. It won't get you drunk, but it's great for heartburn. And it was made in a good month.
Thanks.
I see you need some more milk for your coffee.
No, thanks. Some cream, please. I feel like splurging.
I should have guessed.
What's her problem?
Ah, she's just jealous, I guess.
Of what?
You, probably. I know I am.
You?
Well, you gonna have time now for a trivial guy like me when you're rich and famous?
Oh, that damn cologne again.
I think we should have made it a woman's cologne. Could have used you in the ads.
Come on, Jonathan.
You got it, didn't you? Well, they liked you, right?
Sure, but as Mr. Winston pointed out, that's the owner of the place. As he said, it's what the audience thinks that counts.
The audience will love you.
Will you be there?
Are you kidding? I wouldn't miss it for... I wouldn't miss it for anything except the presentation I have to make in Montreal Monday night.
Oh, boy. I guess we both forgot about that one.
Sam, I'm sorry.
Me too. But everybody from the office will care.
Yeah. I'm sure your mother will want to be there.
I'm not so sure about that.
I upset you?
No, I've upset myself.
Yeah, but I helped.
Jonathan, you do anything but upset me. And I appreciate your support.
And, why do you think you have it?